5 fictional locations, 5 popular worlds, and 1 crown. In this video, I take on the challenge of matching 5 fictional locations to their popular fictional worlds. I'm doing this to answer one question: am I the one true king of the nerds?
You have no power here.
But also, how crucial is tone in storytelling? In embarking on this challenge of matching fictional locations with their respective worlds, my motivation is rooted in the belief that a well-crafted narrative extends beyond characters and plot. It resides in the very landscapes that shape the story's essence. Whether evoking suspense or warmth, tone is the silent architect that enriches our connection to narratives and worlds. If you can identify a location and immediately match it with its corresponding story, you know that the world has been expertly constructed on solid foundations. However, if the connection proves elusive, well, one is compelled to acknowledge a lapse in world building. The tone was simply not distinct enough. Or, let's be real, it could just mean that you're stupid.
Spell red.
Red? L-S-T-E-R.
So in other words, let's find out whether I'm stupid or if I'm the one true king of the nerds. Can I recognize a story based on its location? Was the tone distinct and memorable enough to make me associated with a world? Today, we're finding the answers. Now, let me show you how this challenge is going to work.
We have 5 distinct screenshots, each representing a unique location from renowned fantasy and sci-fi worlds. The challenge unfolds with one location revealed at a time. Each round gets progressively more difficult. The objective is to match each location with its respective world or title. Once an answer has been locked in, that world is out of contention. At the end of the challenge, we'll find out whether I matched the locations correctly or if I completely failed.
Let the challenge commence. Alright, these are the 5 worlds we're working with. Round 1 is the following location. A desolate and haunting landscape on first impression. A swamp pretty much. I would describe this place as dead. Yeah, dead as hell. I'm trying to think, but I don't want to overthink. There's just one thing that confuses me, or puts doubt in my mind. I see no mountains in the background. This place reminds me of the dead marshes in The Lord of the Rings. But shouldn't Mordor be somewhere in the background? Maybe you simply can't see past the fog.
Are you blind? You can't see me!
I think I underestimated this challenge. Once I lock in an answer, I can't go back and change it. So if I get this one wrong, things might spiral out of control. I don't recognize this location from any other story. Well, actually, I do remember some swampy place in Game of Thrones, and maybe even in The Witcher. But there's just something about the colors, the eerie atmosphere of this image. The tone makes me believe that it has to be the dead marshes. And also, this first round should be the easiest round. So I'm locking in The Lord of the Rings for this location. The Lord of the Rings movies have mastered tone. From the landscapes to the score, you know exactly where you are at all times. When I say the Shire, you immediately get an, I don't know what to call it, but feeling. The same when I mention Mordor or Rivendell. All these locations are associated with their own atmosphere. Let's move on to round 2. Oh wow, this one surprised me. Looks like an optical illusion kind of. I have to take a closer look. There is a lot going on. On first glance, it might look like some random ordinary ancient desert city. Like if you need glasses and you don't have access to them while looking at this image. Nobody would fault you for thinking this is somewhere on the continent of Essos in the Game of Thrones world. But unfortunately, that's wrong. This can only be somewhere in the Star Wars world. Or Dune. Let me tell you why. Well, the architecture is quite futuristic and advanced. This is some high-level engineering I'm looking at. I'm pretty confident I know where this is. Surely we're on the planet of Arrakis. If I remember correctly, this city is known as Arrakeen. I was mesmerized the first time I saw this place. The whole Dune world is just so fascinating. If you're into world building, you should definitely check it out. Anyway, I'm locking in Dune as the world for this location. Watching Dune was one of the most unique experiences. What made the biggest impression on me was the majestic score and the epic sound effects, which perfectly complemented the otherworldly landscapes. I think we got this. I've rediscovered my confidence. The first round was shakier than it needed to be, but I think we're on the right track here. It's time for the third round. Oh, and that's the confidence gone. Nah, but seriously, this one should be doable. We have 3 titles remaining. This is either Game of Thrones, The Witcher or Star Wars. I'm immediately gonna eliminate Star Wars from this round. It just isn't that. Now, let's concentrate. Let's take a closer look at the image. What are we seeing? First of all, a stunning shot. Probably the best looking one, visually speaking. Love the sunset and the contrast. A fortress nestled in the mountains, surrounded by snow. That broken tower reminds me of the place where the Witchers live, where Geralt took Ciri. But I'm also getting strong Game of Thrones vibes, or rather House of the Dragon vibes. There was a castle or fortress in ruins there as well. I just don't think it's that place. I don't remember the mountains being there. This is a tough round. My memory is betraying me.
No difference in dreams or anything like that. No senses at all. The brain has been totally inactive. No dreams and no thoughts of any kind whatever.
I want to say that this is the place in The Witcher, but what if it actually is Game of Thrones and I just don't remember it? That would be embarrassing. I'm choosing to stick to my initial feeling. I'm locking in this location to The Witcher. Now, let's quickly move on before I change my mind. Oh, that's right. I'm not even allowed to. Netflix's The Witcher series carries a tone that at times feels chaotic and disjointed. The world building, while rich in potential, lacks a structured presentation, leaving viewers without a clear sense of location and geography. At least that is how I felt. Let me know your thoughts. Am I being unfair? Unveiling location number 4. What? Are you kidding me? Someone is pulling a prank on me here. That's Italy, the island of Capri or something, maybe Sardinia, or am I being stupid here? I'm baffled, completely lost. Where did it go wrong? I need to think. This is life or death. I am the god of the new world, or I mean the king of the nerds. I can't go down like this. Impossible. The architecture looks European. So does the climate. Look at how green that place is.
Damn it, he got me!
You're telling me that this is either Game of Thrones or bloody Star Wars. Cool story, bro. I don't believe you. Let's go by the process of elimination. It just isn't the Lord of the Rings or Dune. I'm sure of that. The question is, can this be somewhere in the Witcher world? Sure, possibly. Let's be honest, the series has made a mess of that world's geography. If this is The Witcher, then it means that I messed up in the previous round. But actually, is it that far-fetched to think that this could be somewhere in the Game of Thrones world? What about Dorne? Or the Reach even? Could I have forgotten a place like this? I'm convinced that I didn't miss any episodes. Maybe the trauma of having to put up with Daenerys made me forget all the parts she was in. Yeah, that has to be it. Cause ain't no way this is Star Wars. It's been a long time since I last watched it, but if this is Star Wars, then I must be going senile. I have no choice. I can only choose between Game of Thrones and Star Wars. To me, this location is more likely somewhere in the Game of Thrones world. I'm locking it in. I say that with no confidence whatsoever. Just like the Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones succeeded in presenting iconic locations, in creating a memorable tone. The show's dark and unpredictable atmosphere, coupled with the meticulous world building, establishes a series that remains unparalleled in the realm of fantasy television. And just like the Lord of the Rings, I love how each house, each location has its own fitting soundtrack. It's ironic that I say this while being unsure over my answer here. If I'm wrong, I blame it on forgetfulness. Let's keep it real. There was a lot to remember. Last but not least, location number 5. If I had a table, I'd flip it. Yeah, cause this is Star Wars. Can't you see it? We've landed in Mustafar. That's Anakin and Obi-Wan. A grave error has occurred somewhere in the previous rounds. The frustrating thing is that I can't do anything about it. This location is automatically locked to Star Wars, and we all know that it's incorrect. But where the hell is this? A little port. Where have I seen it? It has to be either Game of Thrones or The Witcher. Wait, isn't this the place where Theon is from? Yeah, it has to be, the Iron Islands. I'm starting to remember. This is where my man got creepy with his sister. I wanted to forget that scene. Well, thanks for awakening those twisted memories. The Star Wars world is so vast that it's easy to forget places, especially if you're a casual fan. In my opinion, the movies have made so many timeless and iconic locations. It would be safe to say that Star Wars changed the cinematic landscape. It made the impossible possible. Anyway, clearly this location ain't Star Wars, but it is what it is. Let's quickly reflect on where things went wrong. It has to be somewhere after the second round. I'm relatively sure that I got the first 2 correct, and I also recognize the last location as being from the Game of Thrones world. And if that is the case, then surely I'm also correct about the fortress being from The Witcher, which leaves me with the Capri location. Now, how the hell can that one be Star Wars? Because that is the only title or world that isn't matched to anything. Something is odd, or most likely, I'm being stupid. Enough of the overthinking. There's nothing I can do. My answers have been locked in. It's time for the grand reveal. Oh, wow. So that's how it is. I matched the first 3 locations correctly, with their corresponding worlds. Kaer Morhen is what the home of the Witchers is known as. It's a cool name, I should remember it from now on. The 4th round is where I messed up. I can't believe that the location is Naboo. That's so embarrassing, but now that the answer has been revealed to me, it's so obvious. This is the place where Anakin and Padme were being sneaky, doing all that dirty stuff. Such a romantic location, perfect for a love story. And yes, the last one was Game of Thrones. I was close, but not close enough. This challenge was supposed to answer one question. Am I the one true king of the nerds? We got the answer. It's a no. I'm still just a prince. But I will have my revenge, whether in this life or the next. The day will come when I sit on the throne, titled King of the Nerds. Okay. This video was also supposed to answer another, maybe even more important question. How crucial is tone in storytelling? Well, first of all, I want to express that context matters. A lot, in fact. An isolated image from any world or story does not really tell us much, unless that location is truly iconic, like Rivendell in The Lord of the Rings, or the Wall in Game of Thrones, or the planet of Mustafar in Star Wars. I have to say that I did alright in this challenge. I could have done better, and I'm sure many of you got all the locations in this video spot on. To answer the question, tone sets the emotional and atmospheric foundation, influencing the audience's experience and connection with the narrative. In visual storytelling, tone is conveyed not only through dialogue and plot, but also through cinematography, lighting, music, and visual aesthetics. It dictates the mood, be it suspenseful, lighthearted, or melancholic, shaping how viewers interpret and engage with the narrative. A well-crafted tone enhances the storytelling experience, creating a more immersive and memorable journey for the audience. It serves as a guiding force, ensuring that the visual elements harmonize with the narrative's emotional nuances, ultimately leaving a lasting impact on the viewer. In my opinion, and honestly speaking, even from an objective point of view, tone is fundamental in storytelling, especially if you want to create something magical and memorable. Well then, thank you everyone for watching. Until next time, I will have my redemption.